Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Capital A Trading. Welcome to another episode of my Forex Weekly. Each week, I go through the markets, analysing the charts, bringing the best opportunities to you, showing you how I'm going to tackle them. And then, of course, throughout the week, they'll be updated in my Discord channel. If you haven't got access to that, do so now. You can send me an email to capitalatrading@hotmail.com. Request the link. I'll send it back to you as soon as I can. So with that being said, if you trade, if you take investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting content around trading coming throughout the year. With that being said, I just want to say a quick shout out to my sponsors, the Absolutely magazine. Thank you for all your hard work, and I'm looking forward to being on the new edition. Thank you again. For those of you who want to learn more about trading, check out my website, www.capitalatrading.co.uk. Now with that being said, we're going to go straight through the fundamentals and then get into the charts.
Okay, so as always, you've got to check the fundamentals for the week, see where there can be some points of the week where the charts are going to get impacted. Last week, we had the NFP, which was kind of holding everything back. This week, there's going to be more news that's going to have instant impacts. So again, Monday, I'll probably have my main focus around the Australian dollar for that speech in the evening. Tuesday, I'll then probably again switch it back towards the CAD and a bit of the Australian dollar again around the evening time. Wednesday, it will be on the pound and this budget report at 1 o'clock around the New York Open, weirdly enough. So I'll be looking to see any impact, especially in the pound USD. Thursday, it goes over to the euro for their interest rate decision. And then there's some news around the dollar just after the New York Open as well. So I'll be keeping an eye on them too, the euro and the US dollar on Thursday. Friday, around the morning time, the focus will be on the pound. The afternoon will be the Canadian dollar. So let's get into the charts. Let's see where we can catch some moves. I'm going to start on the AUDNZD. This was one of my main focuses last week. It was around this area. I spoke about some of the things that you could see, some of the impacts in the chart you can see, which led up to this movement here. And all it was, for those who don't know, there's been a little structure break. So as you can see how price has been moving up for ages since the start of the year. And the bears have not really been able to fight back. So the bear candles have not really come back and broken an area which was previously manipulated by the bulls. Now here, you can see the bears have stepped in. They've took control from this point here, and they've now got the energy to go down and break the structure. That's what that arrow was signaling. It meant that something happened here. Price returned to it, and on Friday, there was a little movement down. So what I'm looking for this week is I just want to see price come back towards that area that I spoke about with the gap around the 107,800. Let me see you interact with that area again, maybe slightly below, maybe around the 107,700, and then continue that monstrous push to the downside. So that's going to be the AUDNZD. For those of you who haven't, that was updated inside my Discord channel. This was a trade that was mentioned recently as well inside the Discord channel, and it was the CAD Swiss franc around the 73 level. Now, again, I mentioned the move, we hit our target, and I just wanted to state that last week, price came to the area on Thursday and made the movement again to the downside. From that 73 level, the minute price got to here, hung around the 72,800, it reached up at some point around the London Open, I believe, and then started to make its movement to the downside. So again, just showing you that the moves are still valid, possibly 2-3 weeks later. Again, that was the CAD Swiss franc. This week, I'm not really looking to see it come there again and trade it again. I believe the area will be getting weaker. So this one, I'll just let go now. I haven't really got anything to add for this week. But again, just showing you that the move came again and had a nice 100 pip movement to the downside. That was the CAD Swiss franc. Again, another one very similar to what we just spoke about. This was mentioned on the Forex Weekly inside my Discord channel. I even mentioned the sell from around the 93,400, 93,300 mark. We had a nice push. I then noticed something here. And ever since then, price has just been interacting with this area and making movements to the downside. So again, nothing really to add on this one. If it does come again, I will be watching the 92,400, 92,500 level. But for me, again, just showing you two great moves mentioned inside the Discord channel. If you haven't got access, get access to that now. Send me an email to capitalatrading@hotmail.com. Now, this is one that failed. I don't want to sit here and talk about glory all the time. I was looking at this area around the 86 level. It played with me last week. It sat and struggled around the level, and then Friday reached up to the upside. And basically, the New Zealand dollar got strong. I was aware that one of my trades would fail regarding the AUD NZD and the NZD CAD because I'm looking for strength in the New Zealand dollar. And then in this one, I'm looking for strength in the Canadian dollar. So one was going to fail. It was this one. And I just wanted to state that again. I mentioned that 86 level. It played around all week and then reached up on Friday. This is something that's normal in trading. I do believe we can get a move from around the 87,500 to the 88, but I'm going to let this one play out for another week before I make a decision. That was the NZD CAD. And now last but not least, in the main focuses section was the pound USD. So we had that sell from the 136 level recently. And what I was doing was breaking down the time frames and looking to see price just retest around this lonesome blue candle here at the 135 level. I'm going to still say that's valid. We can still see price shoot up to there this week and then hopefully make the movement down. But what I want to talk about is around the 134 level. I feel like they've done something there this week. Price couldn't get above it and then it shot down on Friday. So I'm just going to see if it does come back towards the 134. Shows my signs of struggle, shows the contract being entered, and then I'll be happy to update it in my Discord. Hopefully we can tackle this one. That's going to be the pound USD. Next up, I'm going to get into gold. Again, I want to mention last week I was looking at a sell around the 1900 mark. That didn't come off, that got obliterated, and price has just been shooting to the upside. Now, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. This is kind of like a safe haven for the rich. This is where they place their money at times of uncertainty. So I do believe this has the potential to go and make a whole new high around the 2100 mark. But what I'm looking at is this monthly picture. It's the 2000 mark. There's something that's happened right at that 2000 level. So I just want to see if we're going to get a reaction there, and there might be a push to the downside. As you can probably tell by my voice, I'm not too confident on that move, just like I said, with what's going on in the world right now. So this can rise to the upside. So just keep an eye on that. Let's see what happens. This is the scenario I want to see price struggle at. As you can see, the 2000 mark is right in the middle of that. I do believe we'll get a reaction, and then longer term, it will continue to the upside. So just keep an eye on that for the week. Keep an eye on that 2000 mark. Let's see what happens at it. That's going to be gold. The next one up is going to be the US 30. Now, I've been mentioning this for a little while now. And what I want to talk about is, again, very similar to the AUDNZD move. We're starting to get the bears more involved. So as you can see, there's not really been much fight back from the bear candles, but now they've broken a structure. They've gone lower than a key point. So what I'm going to be looking at for this week is I just want to see price get back up towards that 3,500 mark and then start to make a movement down again. Let me see you continuing with the bearish strength. So keep an eye on the 3,500 for the US 30 now. But again, very similar. For those of you who follow me, you'll know I've been hunting the UK100 down for ages now, and I finally feel like we're almost ready to go. It's around this 7,000, 8,000 mark. In between here, this is a monthly time frame, so give it a bit of space. But it looks like there's another sell that's coming. As you can see, what happened around the start of 2020, so around the coronavirus period. We've had price shoot down, and ever since then, it's just kind of made its way back up. Now, I feel like the big sell is ready to kick off again. So as I just come down the time frames, you'll start to see now we've had a massive bearish involvement. We've had the structure break. And all I'm going to be looking for is price to retest between the 7,400 to the 7,600. Hopefully there we can get a powerful sell. So again, just be aware of that. Keep an eye on that area. It may take around 2 to 3 weeks, but I want to see price just climb back up towards here around that 7,400, 7,600. And then we can hopefully see another push to the downside even further, hopefully tanking into a whole new bearish structure. So that's going to be the UK100. Now, next up again, regarding what's going on in the world right now, US oil, I just wanted to speak about. It is possibly going to reach all-time highs, I believe. It could be heading towards the 150 mark. So again, just be aware of that. Let's see if price is going to pull back towards the 100. I believe it will push back down towards this 100 and then just continue making its movement to the upside. Again, this is geared around everything that's going on in the world right now. Just keep an eye on that one. I'm expecting it to make a whole new time high. Now, again, I know I get a lot of questions about this. I've been talking about Bitcoin. I've been talking about the key area, the key level. It's around here. It's around the 32,000, 30,000 mark. And what I believe is, for those people who are trying to invest in this right now, I believe it's going to come lower, dip this area, and then start to make its revival to the upside. But until then, we don't know how long that can take. It can still be a whole nother year before it actually dips this area. But again, just keep an eye on it. It does look like it's going to keep coming lower in the short term. Longer term, I do believe we're going to see a revival and hopefully price back towards the 60,000 mark. It's all about timing regarding this Bitcoin. Keep an eye on it. Let's go on a little currency run. So First one I want to talk about is going to be the Swiss franc yen. This is going to be something that I monitor very closely this week. Now, there's a big gap here on the daily time frame. I've measured this swing down. We've got back towards the 62% line. And on Friday, again, it just showed some bearish involvement. What I'm going to monitor this week is the 126 to the 126,500. I just want to see price struggle somewhere in here, create my contract, create that sign that the market makers are entering. And then hopefully by Thursday, Friday, again, we can see a big push to the downside. And hopefully it's going to go make a new low. So I'm looking at a target around 123,500. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the Swiss franc yen. It's the 126, 126,500. We'll be monitoring that for entry. Next up is going to be the euro pound. Now, again, for those of you who follow me, we've been catching some lovely sell moves on this for well over a year. What I'm looking at now is I'm measuring this swing down, and I just want to see price get back up towards my 62 line, around the 83,400 to the 84. Give it a bit of space. I want to see price struggle in here, do something that I'm familiar with seeing, and then hopefully with the pound strength, again, there's some news around the pound. Obviously, we've got the euro's interest rate decision. We need to see all of that and how it's going to impact this chart. I just want to see price get back up here and then start showing me some pound strength again to continue to the downside. That's going to be the euro pound. Again, be aware of the news on that one. Now, this is going to be one of my favorites of the week. Again, if you've been following me, you've been watching me, I just want to explain what I've been seeing here and how it's working. If I get on the 4-hour time frame, this is the scenario that price was playing off. It hits into it on 1, 2, 3, 4 occasions, giving off good sell moves, over 100 pip moves. And then eventually what it's going to do after all that time, lots of traders' stop losses would have been building up above this area. So I want you to imagine this is a swimming pool of money. And eventually they go up, jump into that swimming pool of money, and then they turn the market around and then start making the move away with the energy now of all that money that was in the swimming pool. So what I'm looking at now is price has retested this area on Friday around that 127,800 to the 128 again. And because of what's happened now, I feel it's ready to tank away. It's ready to go with less sellers on the bus, if that makes sense. There was a load of sellers waiting for this to drop. They've taken them out and the way is a lot more clearer now. I've got a target around the 124,500. So again, just be aware of this one. It's going to be one of my main focuses for the week. We've got some Canadian news. We've got some US dollar news. Let's see if price respects this area and continues pushing to the downside. That's going to be the USD CAD. Right, I'm going to go through a few pound pairs now. I'm going to show you what I think we can see for the week. I'm going to start with the pound yen again. For those of you who follow me, you'll know about the sells I mentioned from around the 157,600 to the 158 level. As you can see now, they are very, very profitable situations if you've been following onto them. What I'm looking for this week, I want to see the pound start strong and then die out later in the week. I want to see price start rising back towards an area where we can see a good trading opportunity. I'm going to monitor the 154 to the 154,500. We've got this gap here. I do believe it can come to the 155. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that whole area. Look for, again, to see price struggling for that contract being entered by the market makers. And then hopefully we can see the yen continue with its assault to the downside. Regarding the target, I want to see it get back towards that 150 mark. So it'll be a good 400, 300 pip move. It may take a couple of weeks. Just be aware of that one. That's going to be the pound yen. Now, next up, again, for those of you who follow me, you'll know about this sell I mentioned from that 190 level. And if you're looking at it now, it's gone well over 1,000 pips in not even that much of a long time either. So what I'm looking at this week now is, as you can see, the bears are heavily involved. They are flushing this market to the downside. And I just want to see price get back up towards the 183, 182, around that level, and then continue again with another movement to the downside. That's going to be the pound Oz. Last but not least, regarding this section, again, if you've been following, I mentioned this sell around that 125,500 to the 126 mark. It had a few days of struggling there. And as you can see now, again, a massive move to the downside, almost making a new low. I believe it will eventually go and make a new low. All I'm going to be looking for is a retest back towards the 122,500 to the 123 mark. I just want to see price get back up there, struggle, flush the pound again, Swiss franc goes down. Keep an eye on that one. It's the pound Swiss franc.
Okay, thanks for watching. That's all from me this week. Again, my advice, pick out 2 or 3 of the opportunities that I've just gone through, monitor them throughout the week, see how they get on, make sure you have a markdown of the numbers that I've mentioned. So again, if you want to learn more, if you want to take your trading to the next level, check out my website, www capitalatrading.co.uk. Also, if you haven't got access to my Discord, you can do that now. Send me an email to capitalatrading@hotmail.com and I'll send you the link back. Again, thanks for watching and have a great trading week.